This is Toys R Us, and nice to speak to you today. I've got to confess everything at the moment. Thankfully, there's not many people in the chat, which is brilliant. But for people who are watching this back later rather, yeah, things really aren't going to plan. As you can see already, that there's only me here. Magnum Prime's stuck in traffic, and so is Phil from Robot Recruits. Harlan Perry's there. Great to see you, buddy. Thanks for being here. Poor old Simon, Transformers UK collector, has got a cold. So as I say, nothing's really going to plan at the moment. I can show you something else in a second. I'll wait for a few more people to jump in the chat. But yeah, as I say, it's got to have to be off the cuff at the moment, because as you see, A, I'm by myself, and B, I think I had quite a special unboxing to show you, but it's ended up being a bit of a harsh lesson for myself, shall we say. So anybody got any questions or anything? There's a few people here already. Again, I am still waiting for Magnum, and I am still waiting for Phil. They will be popping in as soon as they arrive. They're not even here yet. So what I wanted to do, I really wanted to do a special unboxing again for this, and there's no easy way to put this at all. Apart from the fact that I was absolutely devastated. So I had this figure. I've been after it for ages, and I was buying it, and it was coming from the Netherlands. It was coming in over here from a good friend of mine who I brought the CJ Megatron and stuff from. And oh well, there's no easy way to say it. I'm just going to show you. So once I opened the box, this was the packaging that was inside. And you could, so it looks like Customs have had it. Customs have, and they've literally cut through. You can see there's about 9 layers of bubble wrap there. And yeah, just literally shown it no respect, just hacked it open. And yeah, it's totally, as you can see, damaged. Well, unfortunately, it even came through, and wait till you see what it was. This was going to be such a special thing. It was Target Master Scourge. Thankfully the toy and everything is okay, but you can see that we've completely damaged, ripped through the whole box there. So I suppose at least I've still got the figure, but you know, I don't even know if this is a lesson or if this is what to say to people. I suppose I'm just making people aware at the end of the day that you know, even if you think things are super well wrapped up and looked after, yeah, just maybe, I don't know, maybe you could just have wrapped it even more and more and more. So that was, again, nothing is going to plan at all, nothing at all. So let's have some questions from people then. What's anybody want to ask? I've got a few saved up already to ask, which which I've already been asked. So while I'm waiting for a few more to come in, again, I want to thank Bumblejumper82, who is also a YouTuber. I know I've already done this once, but it's right in front of me, and I've just about done the video for this, and he sent me this very kindly. He didn't have to at all, so I thank him ever so much. I've also been asked a few questions on the loyal subject figures that I've been doing, because some people haven't even seen them, so I might as well answer some of them right now. So these were the loyal subjects, and I don't know if they're pre-pop, as in I think pop might have come out just before them, but the particular figures here were way before Transformers pops. And again, I've been doing a couple of videos on these, and I do really like them. I just think people are about, well, what are they, and they literally, some of them came in blind boxes like this, and I suppose they're just, I don't know, they're just funny comic takes on main characters, and I've got quite a few of these now, obviously, to do videos on. So that is exactly what I will be doing. Like this particular guy here, I haven't done one on him yet, but this one is Sideswipe, as you can tell. And yeah, that's it. They're a toy line that came out about 2013. They started them. This is 2014, and this is Series 2. So yeah, and they went up to, I think, Wave 3, maybe a teeny bit later, but yeah, they're just a bit of fun. As I say, they're a bit like Pops. They're just, that's it, exactly that. Of everything what people want to know. Right, Victory Saber, isn't it? I keep getting asked about Victory Saber, and yeah, definitely, that's a good question there. I don't know why that Hasbro took so long in putting up the colour pictures. To be honest, I didn't think they'd ever struggle to hit the 20,000, because I think 20,000 people, you know, from the whole Transformers community isn't actually that much. I don't think it's, don't think it's a huge amount of people at all. And I think the price point, although I completely agree with Vector Sigma. Oh, here we go. If there was a fire, which Transformer would you save? Mine would be Soundwave. Now, that Lee Lee Bennett, who might be commenting in a minute, or who, funnily enough, he's the guy who does all my intros. His favourite is Soundwave. It's too hard. It's too, I mean, if I suppose I'm really lucky that none of these, as bad as it sounds, are my childhood figures. So I, unfortunately, I think I've told people quite a few times on these and on the lives that I did actually sell all my childhood ones. So I've got no actual attachment in that way. Obviously, I've got attachment to them because I love them and I think it's ace, but it'd be too hard. And probably that gift set there that's behind me, because that's something that I never thought that I'd own. Just never thought that I'd own. And it took me like 15 months payment plan to save up and pay for it to get it all done. So probably that, but that's probably only for obviously money reasons, and the fact that I'd probably never see it again. So if it did go, I'd be really gutted for that reason. But that's a good question. There's thankfully, obviously, I am insured for fire, which I definitely need to be, because it's just not worth it nowadays. I think this is a good thing all the time at the moment, and I might as well, I suppose, answer it now. You know, the cost of collecting is getting silly now, and it is, and I think obviously that's because there's far more collectors, and of course because there's more collectors there's less stuff, so unfortunately that will obviously push the price up, which it does, and which it is doing. And obviously there's nothing that we can really address. It's just that's just what it is. Thankfully enough that a lot of the new lines, like, I think we've all got to admit, especially for G1 fans and even Beast Wars fans now, I think you've got to admit that the Kingdom line, especially bringing in the Beast figures, has been brilliant for it. And it's even, you know, it's opened my eyes, because Beast Wars for me was something that I still, in honesty, I've still not seen any of the Beast Wars episodes. It was an era that I was growing up anyway, but I wasn't really interested in the Beast Wars sort of figures. They didn't grab my imagination, if you wanted. I suppose for me, growing up, it was all about robots, cars, dinosaurs, obviously with the Dinobots, things like that. The Combiners, I absolutely loved, and still love the Combiners. I just think they're absolutely amazing. I'm really excited to see exactly what, if this new Legacy thing is. And obviously, I think we're going to find out a lot more on that. Ah, Rudy Zizzo, there he is. Nice to see you, Rudy. What's on the e-hobby wish list next? It's got to be Hauler, I think, because I just think Hauler's just, again, it's grapple, isn't it? But he just looks brilliant. And again, I think me and you, Rudy, spoke about this before, and a lot of the people on my Instagram have talked about them. The e-hobby stuff, I'm just kicking myself for not getting them at all, because obviously when I was back into collecting, really heavy into collecting again in the early 2000s, and the e-hobby started popping up here, there and everywhere, and don't know why. Well, at the time, the main reason why is my collecting at the time was just I wanted to get the originals, and I suppose in a way that's obviously paid dividends, because again, the price of G1s now have gone up so much. But unfortunately for myself, again, being on Joust, which is a Japanese auction centre website, Buy, etc., all them, seeing them pop up for, you know, normal prices, because that's, I mean, they might be slightly of a premium. I had the e-hobby Guardian robot, so is that, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the blue and white Omega Supreme? I'm sure it is. And again, I've seen that a few times, nearly had that, and was going to get it, but again, it's just, well, it's just, I suppose it's space. But this is another reason why I'm doing this video as well, and people may have noticed that there's been a few more cardboard boxes than normal appearing behind me, and yeah, there it is, definitely. I thought it was. I really like that one as well. I do like it, but of course with that, you've got to make sure you don't get any sun fade or anything. But no, as I say, what I'm looking at doing with the collection is I'm looking at going a little bit more, and I can't say even more focused on G1, but it's more focused. It's just I want to finish the entire run, and I'm quite close to it now. I've got a few contacts who are helping me source some figures, some of the Japanese ones that, you know, are pretty much near enough unattainable or just don't pop up anywhere. So for people who keep asking and keep saying there's cardboard boxes or there's movie figures there or whatever, I am again sort of slowly selling some of the movie figures off to fund Generation 1 purchases, which was always going to be the intention. And a lot of collectors who I speak to who are my age, teeny bit younger, a little bit older, I think we all had that, you know, whatever it's called, to get, well, I can't think what the word is, but it's not a guise, but I suppose that thing in the back of our head, right, if we start to buy these movie figures and do what we should have done with our Generation 1 figures as a kid and save them until, you know, 15, 20 years on, of course, then that'll be the next person. So anybody who's in their 20s watching this right now, Yeah, that's it. That's it. I'm the same, Rudy. Exactly the same. I stuck with, as I say, I stuck with the G1. So it swings and roundabouts. I'm really happy that I stuck with the G1 and was able to get all the Hasbro ones before they went crazy prices. But on the same hand, now I want that purple Astro Train. I want that green Hauler. I want the Fire Guts Jinrai. I want the Neptune Jinrai, whatever they're all called. All of the different repaints. Yeah, I want them now. But and again, they've just gone. I was lucky enough to get them mini bots, which I can have a look at getting in a second. But yeah, so I was saying, so we had the guys to get the movie figures and start to sort of sell them off now, because as I was saying, if you're in your 20s now, then obviously your generation one, our generation one was of course the actual generation one figures, but if you're in your 20s, your generation one will be stuff like Cybertron, RID, and of course movies. Do you think G1 etc better made toys than new ones? It's hard to say, because again, I think the new Siege line's been brilliant. In fact, the whole War for Cybertron, I know they've had QC issues with, I'm looking at right now, I'm looking at tracks, Mage, and things like that, and I know they have, but I mean, obviously they're a much better toy, they've got far more articulation, etc., but where they're better, I don't know. I think maybe because with the original G1 being, you know, chunky, huge, I mean, they often get, you know, terminology used for them is bricks. They are. Some of them are bricks, some of them are so robust, especially the original Headmasters. Like the original Headmasters, like Weird Wolf's got the whole half of a wolf on the back of his head, and so on, and so Skull Crunchers. So they are more robust. They don't break as easy, and because they don't break as easy, maybe that's why they get that moniker. But again, if you think as well, if you think of all the Datsun brothers and Sideswipe and all them, I mean, they're incredibly fragile now. So I suppose it depends on the toy. Depends on the toy, depends on the figure, and I think, yeah, that's it. Obviously, the toy making, the articulation, the detail, the ball and socket joints and everything has got so much better. But are they better as in better quality? I think they're all about the same. It just depends on the actual figure. I mean, I still haven't transformed the new Scorponok Titan, and it's, you know, it's a unit. It's so robust. It's huge. I can't see that breaking anytime soon. But then, of course, some of the smaller figures, again, they can be quite flimsy, like Trax. Trax has got its issues. Fortunately enough for myself, with the Galvatron figure, I didn't experience the shoulder issues, but I agree with everybody who says that these issues shouldn't be happening. Of course they shouldn't. So, but that's a great question. Yeah, there you go. So I was carrying on with what I was saying with the movie figures. So you may start to see, in fact, you probably can't because the camera's there, but my movie figures, especially the loose ones, are dwindling down as well, and that is to fund the just the Japanese ones, because again, I think, especially with, of course, Black Zarek, we know is coming out at the end of this year. They've just done Victory Saber as part of HasLab. I really think they're going to all of a sudden start to make a big push on the Japanese stuff, because I just think that it's the only way to go, apart from, because it's the only things they've not really gone back to. Again, if you refer back to even the Classics line in 2006, they started doing Generation 1 again, etc, etc. The Thread 30 line that started in 2013 was a mixture of Armada, Beast Wars, Generation 1, etc, etc. We already think, or we pretty much know, this new Legacy toy line is going to be Cybertron, Transformers Prime, Generation 1 again, Beast Wars, just again a complete mishmash of everything. And the only ones that they haven't done yet, obviously, Japanese figures, apart from maybe BotCon exclusives, or I think it was the Chaos on Velocitron artwork. Russ, what are your favourite images on the backs of boxes? Again, unfortunately, it's Japanese. It's huge. I don't mind grabbing it. In fact, can I get it here? I don't know. I'm waiting for the rest of the crew supposed to be here. This is supposed to be 3 other people. My favourite one, bear with me 2 seconds, it's only here. No, there's two. Oh, no, not that one. Right, so this is definitely live. Obviously I'm running off. So I've got 2 favourite battle artworks on the back, and they're scenes that you've probably seen before, but they've just added extra things to it. So in fact, let's go this one. So this is a Takara Devastator, and again, what I like about this is, look, Devastator's at the front, in the middle, the individual bots all around the outside. So on the back of this, we've all seen the artwork, the normal artwork for Hasbro, where you've got the red tracks, you've got Grimlock and the Dinobots and Shockwave. But this is just taking it to a different level. Right, where we are, can we focus? So there you go. You know, you've got the very similar artwork that you've always see, but they've added Devastator at the bottom, you've got Blitzwing, you've just got loads more going on. So that is one of my absolute, I think that's probably my favourite, but a very, very, very close second is the 86 background. Now normally, excuse me, on the 86 background, that's of course Metroplex in his base mode with Trypticon coming in from the top right hand side, again in his base mode, and everything else flying around it. But in Japan, they took the same two bots, but they transformed them into other modes, and they gave us this. So we've got Trypticon obviously in his beast mode, and Metroplex obviously in his robot mode. And there's some of the combiners, Ultra Magnus, and everything around there. So that's my favourite two pieces of artwork on a battle scene. Individual figures, probably Metal Hawk or something. Aha! Magnum Prime is here.
Hello.
I don't know if Magnum Prime, are you still staying off camera?
Yeah, I'll stay in the background.
He's going to be passing me some
background. Yeah.
So Magnum Prime's in the background now as well. Which is good because he's got some stuff that I can show you. We've got Rudy, we've got loads of people on here already. So yeah. Magnum's here, so I'm not sitting here by myself. What else was we saying? I can't think of what I was saying. About the legacy, that the legacy is going to be the Japanese figures are the only ones they've missed. That's what I'm saying. So I have a strong suspicion, feeling that over the next sort of 2-3 years, we're going to be seeing a Landcross. We're going to be seeing, you know, more of the Japanese figures, because it's the only genre that they've not retouched on, or they've not gone back, or they've not released certain figures from. What else? Who else is there? There's quite a few. Phil's still not here yet either.
Okay,
the Ragu Overlord. Hey Russ, just wanted to stop by and say hi. Nice of you to stay. Hi, brilliant. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate this time is a very, very odd time. I imagine most of America and Canada and all that side of the world are all flat out. But I'll do another one again. Don't worry. I will definitely do another one. Some decent figures of... Yeah, to be fair, I completely agree. Now, with the Cyberverse, I know of them, but if I'm being honest, I haven't really... Bennett is again the guy, which would be very... Still quite... Obviously, it's quite recent, isn't it? They're still doing figures of them right now. I only know that because my little boy's got a couple already. I think I'm excited for the Titan, though. I'm really pleased because they all said, you know, the Ark was going to be the last Titan. There wasn't going to be any more. And then, of course, we've now found out that not to be true. So we obviously are going to be getting another Titan figure. And I think, again, loads of people have echoed when we've talked about this online and things, that if we've got an Ark, then surely we need a Nemesis, which is, of course, the Decepticons ship as well. And I see no reason why they wouldn't.
Are you getting the Ark?
I am getting the Ark. I haven't got it yet, but I am getting the Ark, but I haven't got it yet.
You need space. I
need space, yeah. I think Cyberverse might be my favourite series. That's really interesting to know. You see, there's so much I need to catch up on, or as in watch. There's just loads. I've obviously watched all the War for Cybertrons. I still haven't watched any of the Prime Wars trilogy, to be honest. I've not seen them at all. I believe they're on YouTube. I need to watch them. And also, again, I think obviously with Hasbro putting Generation 1 to 4 of the YouTube on their YouTube, I think they'll just, hopefully for me as well, they'll go straight to Beast Wars, or maybe even, as I say, to Victory. They were sort of hinting at Victory, I think, on the last live that they did, because they were saying that obviously the Victory cartoon hasn't been seen in the US, and whether they said yet or not, I don't know. But I've got a strong suspicion that they will. Well, they've got, again, they're trying to market Star Saber, and which they've done, Star Saber and Victory Saber. So if they're going to go into that toy line, people are going to need to know who the figures are, aren't they?
Yeah, I could see them redoing something. They've got to, haven't they? I mean, so many people back to Star Saber. That would be nuts.
27,000, 27,000 definitely.
Crazy.
I wouldn't bother with Combiner Wars. It's very slow. Okay, I take that on board.
I think that about War for Cybertron.
Do you? Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Rudy, not a question, but I just wanted to share my love for Ruin Siege, shall I say. I think they've turned the corner. They've turned the corner. It's crazy.
They have. I mean, they're going through the whole thing, aren't they? And
get around to doing a Generation Select collection as well. But as I've said, all the War for Cybertron figures, shall I say, in a better display. Magnum's got some amazing Japanese books here.
So I won't go through them all.
No, I know.
Should I come around there?
Yeah, you.
I'll shuffle over.
Can you see? I can.
Vintage Japanese. So in the These
getting technical problems. So they can't. They just said they seem to be having connection problems. So what I'll do is I'll just come off for a few minutes, and then yeah, probably pop back on again half an hour or so. So for those of you, sorry, and I'll come back on in a second. Boom. Where are we? Live. I don't even know how to do it. Can't. Where's it gone? There we go. End.